You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Ariboting on Twitter. Here to delay with latest in Auburn athletics news as basketball season is officially over. As talked about on Sunday, Auburn lost in the Final Four. So now all eyes are on, baseball, softball, and now, football, which is back in action this Saturday for A-Day, which A-Day is going to have a little bit of a different look this time around. It's going to be basically just a practice. So I think it's pretty much what it is. It's just open practice for the fans. It's going to be I think it said about an hour long, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to have the a replacement of Fan Day into this as well. I'm iffy about the change. I've always weirdly loved A-Day. Going back to going at like my time was going as a kid, and then moving in to my adult time. I still love A-Day. It's still super fun. I love it to death. But Auburn will be having spring A-Day spring practice for an hour and a half. There you go. The Fan Day will be at 1:30 and go on for about. And I think another hour and a half is what it said for that as well. But, for this practice, I still want to talk about some things that I want to see from Auburn. Because it's going to be my first official look at the new Tigers team. I don't have to read any articles about what's going on. I don't have to see any highlight videos. But I just want to go over some things that I want to see from Auburn football during A-Day. Now, my number one on this list is I want to see some big plays for this wide receiver core. I've seen some highlights. I've seen the catch. I've seen the Cam Coleman catch going from Jackson Arnold. I want to see more plays like that. And, of course, I want to see how this DB core responds to it as well. But I do want to see what's the word I want to go for? I want to see a look at to what this offense could look like in 2025. Something to hype me up. I'd like, if I'm not going to get an 8A, I want to be able to sit down in the bleachers and watch something that's going to get me excited for this upcoming football season. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to during A-Day is just trying to see these big plays from these wide receivers. I mean, this is not only just one of the best wide receiver cores that it's not. Let me find out way to rephrase this. This could be the best Auburn wide receiver core of all time. And not only could it just be the best Auburn wide receiver core of all time, this could be the best wide receiver core in the SEC this season. Because I don't want to say it's the best wide receiver core of all time. Because you have guys like Cam Coleman coming back, Perry Thompson's coming back, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Kane. And then you added to that, you had Sam Turner, Derek and Eric Smith coming in. And then you go to the transfer portal. You got Eric Singleton, who is one of the number one players in the portal. And, of course, Horatio Fields. You have a star-studded roster of wide receivers to help aid your new quarterback going into this season. So I want to see some big plays coming from this wide receiver core on A-Day. Up next, I do want to see a little bit of how the running backs will be. What's the word? I don't say divided, but I want to see how the carries are distributed because right now I think it's all over. I don't want to say it's all over the place, but I've read that it's Damari. I've heard people say they want Darrell. I've seen Jeremiah Cobb. And I've even seen Alvin Henderson get some good days during spring practice. I really want to see which running back goes up there first. Because I do believe whichever running back we get first during the spring practices is the running back that's going to be starting in 2025. So I think that could be Damari. I know I've mentioned a few times that Damari probably isn't promised the spot, but with his multiple years of experience, he should be the favorite for it. But I mean, Darrell Robinson is right there, a guy who could easily get that job. Jeremiah Cobb, if he turns the switch and plays consistently, I think he could get it. And even Alvin Henderson, if he goes out there and just absolutely shows out, even he could get it. I mean, the running back room should be pretty open because none of the guys have really shown that they can be the guy yet. Because, whenever Tank Bigsby went out of the game and Jarquez Hunter went in, Jarquez made plays that you're like, oh, okay. Jarquez should be up next. I don't know if we've really gotten that out of any of the guys in here yet. Because, Darrell and Alvin don't really really count for this analogy because they weren't here last year. But even like Damari and Jeremiah didn't really make those big time plays to really show that they can be that number one guy. Damari had times where he just wasn't involved. And Cobb, it seemed like at times the offense didn't really know what to do with him. So, yeah, I do want to see what the running back room does look like. I want to see who gets in and when. Who's going to be the 1 and 2? Who's going to be the guys you're kind of waiting around for? I do think Alvin Henderson might get redshirted. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Number 3, I do want to see how the defense rotates. This was a big thing with Durkin's defense last year was how many guys played during a game. It was, you go back to last year's 8A, or if it was the first game of the season, where it listed out the depth chart, and it was like or, and it's all the way down. It's like a seal at the aquarium, because anybody could play at any time last season. It was just whoever had the best day of practice, you were starting. But believe me, you're gonna get subbed out and get another guy subbed in, because that's just the kind of defense that Durkin runs. So I do want to see how different that is this season with a lot of guys who are going to be getting starting time that didn't get it last year. Looking at guys like Malik Blockton, who were one of those rotational pieces last year and should be one of those staple guys in 2025. I do kind of want to see how that goes along, because with Durkin, you drop some money to keep him. Ohio State wanted Durkin. Auburn doubled down and made him the highest paid coordinator in college football. And now you have a defense that I think, looking at it, Auburn thinks can be one of the top ones in the SEC. I believe it as well. I've said it before. I think this could be a top 5 defense in the SEC, and I think there's room for it to be higher. So I really want to see how this defense really rotates around and kind of see how they react to these plays. Of course, I think the offense might shine the most, because I feel the offense is going to want to, just to prove to people that, hey, Eric Singleton can make some plays down the field. Horatio Fields can make some plays. Perry Thompson is going to be involved. That's what the fans want to see, is see those guys get opportunities. So I do, but I am also interested to see how this defense looks in that first unit. But I do know, grain of salt, it's 8A. And some guys, you don't want to get some guys injured that, either had surgery or still recovering from surgery, or, just limited availability in practices. I think Elijah Melendez, I think I saw something about him running with the first team. I don't believe Elijah Melendez, even if he is a starter or one of the first guys off the bench, I don't think he's going to be the starter because DeMarcus Riddick just hasn't been able to practice yet. So, yeah, I just really excited to see how this defense rotates. Number 4, I have coherency from the offensive line. Now, it's non-contact. The quarterbacks aren't going to get hit or anything. But during these team drills, I do want to see the offensive line kind of hold on. And not hold. Because it's going to be I don't want to say a completely new look. You're still going to have a few guys you saw from last year. Jeremiah Wright's back. Dylan Wade's back. Connor Liu hasn't been available at practice. Xavier Miller's back. The guy who's been starting in the middle has been Braden Joyner. Left tackle, I'm blanking. I think Mason Murphy or Xavier Miller's been playing left tackle. I think Mason Murphy's playing right tackle, says Xavier Miller, because Xavier Chaplin hasn't been healthy to practice yet. But I do think he'd be the starting left tackle. But even though these guys have been practicing together, so I do hope you see a nice chemistry between the offensive line. That's something that Auburn didn't have last year. You look at last season, you had Percy Lewis, who, we were all excited for once he committed to Auburn a year ago. And then the season came along and Percy Lewis was just not it. And the offensive line, it cost Auburn some games. Even games where Peyton Thorne looked well and looked good, Percy Lewis just didn't make play. There was a game where he started off Auburn's first drive with 2 fouls. It was a false start, then it was a holding penalty. So, yeah, I want to see this offensive line look good, which I think everyone can pretty much agree with that. Lastly, what I want to see, and this is going to probably be a boring one for everybody else, I want to see some field goals. I want to see the special teamers get a chance to practice out there on the field. I want to see McPherson. I mean, he is, from all accounts, from what I've heard, he has looked healthier. I want to say I know fully what's going on, but he has been kicking at practice. He kicked a 45-yarder this past week. So I do want to see guys out there that, especially McPherson, making kicks. Auburn had the worst season they've ever had kicking the ball. And I really want to see that change. I've always been a special teams guy. I mean, one of my favorite positions is, of course, the long snapper, as everyone knows. So I do want to see. I want to see McPherson. To what extent can I expect to see McPherson is what I can see during these practices. Because if Auburn had McPherson last season, I think Auburn wins a few more games. that was just the thing. I mean, you're looking at Oklahoma, a game Auburn could have won with a field goal kicker. Let's see what else. I mean, maybe Cal potentially. I'm trying to think of all the games where Auburn missed field goal, and you could probably just throw a pin and hit one. I mean, it was a substantial amount of games that Auburn probably lost because of missed field goals. But again, I do hope McPherson is fully ready to go for the season. I don't know if he will be fully ready, but I mean, if he's making a 45-yarder in practice, that is a very good sign for him, because I mean, he has to be one of the best kickers in Auburn football history. He's just that good, and he was that accurate going into this past season. So yeah, that's the 5 things I want to see. You know, I want to see his wide receiver room, the running back room. I want to see the offensive line, and then I want to see how the defense looks. Which pretty much saying I want to see how this team looks. 2025 is such a massive season for Hugh Freeze and company, because their backs are against the wall right now. You went 6-7 in year 1, then you went 5-7 in year 2. And right now, all the fans really know is that we're on a decline. We don't know if we flatlined. We don't know if we're working our way up. All we can do is hope. Just read the articles, try to see what people are saying about the team. It's put up or shut up time for Hugh Freeze. You got your 3 recruiting classes, and you have what seems to be a manageable schedule for you. I think you can go into the season excited for Auburn to potentially have an 8-win season. Now, I don't know, like what's the line for Auburn? I don't know if Auburn goes 7-5, if that's like an enough of a, in the regular season at least, if that's enough for the fans to stick with moving forward. But I think like 8-4, 9-3, that'd be what you want to shoot for. Just show that you have that proof of concept, that you're recruiting well, that you're coaching the team well, that you're knowing how to utilize the talent you have right now. And of course, that's winning some big games. So I think 8-4 is a pretty reasonable ask for Auburn has to go on another coach hunt. Because I can't lie, as an Auburn fan, I'm tired of the past few years where Auburn's gone fire Malzahn, hire Harsin, fire Harsin, hire Freeze. I don't want to add anything else to that. I want to see the proof of concept. I want to see the tangible growth amongst the team. And I mean, I don't know if you're going to see that during A-Day, but I definitely want to see it during the season. So that's what I want to see during A-Day this weekend. Of course, it's going to be at 11 a.m. I believe, no, 11 a.m. It's going to be at 12 p.m. 11 a.m. is the one night flag football game. So yeah, it's going to be at 12 p.m. It's going to go from 12 to 1:30, where the fan day will begin. So, it was 12 to 1, one of the two. But yeah, that's what I want to see from A-Day this weekend. So, that being said, we're going to go a quick little break. Outside this break, we're going to talk about some more Auburn football, talk about some recruiting news, and of course, Tahaad Pettiford declares for the NBA draft. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes, looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out, and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
Of course, available on the warreporter.com. Go to the shop. Second page, you'll find the College Loop merch, the College Loop hat, and the College Loop t-shirt, the Feelin' Loopy t-shirt, that is. Comfortable shirt you wear in your entire life, 5 different colorways for both. Of course, Emily Ellis is going to get an opportunity to, or not get an opportunity, but she is going to get some merch because she did, in fact, win the College Loop Bracket Challenge because Florida won, but she had Auburn losing to Florida and playing Houston. So Emily Ellis has won the College Loop Bracket Challenge. So congratulations to her. And, of course, don't forget, if you want the merch, that's all fine and dandy. I would love it if everyone bought the merch. But, of course, the best way to support the channel is, of course, by liking, by subscribing, and by commenting. Especially that subscribe one. That's a massive one right there. But leaving a comment, what do you want to see during A-Day? You get an hour to hour and a half of practice to watch. What do you want to see the most from the Tigers? Now, Auburn recruiting. Of course, they've been recruiting very well. I believe they're like top 26, or not 26, the 16th in the class of 2026, which means they've dropped off a little bit, but it's because people are starting to get more and more commits. So this weekend, Auburn did add 3-star Georgia inside offense. Words are hard. Auburn picked up an interior offensive lineman, 3-star out of Carver High School in Columbus, Georgia, in Parker Pritchett, or Parker Dooley Pritchett. His name is Dooley, which I think is awesome. 3-star offensive lineman, 6'5", 310 pounds. Dude is an absolute unit. He had offers from Georgia, Mississippi State, Florida, and Alabama. I was watching some of his film. My favorite play that they run with him is that they'll have a single wide receiver out to run a screen, and instead of having a wide receiver out there to block for him, they send this guy he plays left tackle. They send him out to just level the DB, to just level the corner, and it's super fun, dude. I know. I guess the biggest thing about him is like him. That's the biggest thing about him is him. Dude, being 6'5", 310. Again, you can't coach size, and the tenaciousness just the short stint of highlights I've watched of him. Dude is tough, and I love an offensive lineman that is willing to just lower their shoulder and just run through somebody for a block. Again, I think that he could. He's a nice addition. I think he's the first offensive line addition in this class. Yes, he is. A class that right now is pretty much full of 2 wide receivers and mostly defense. You got an edge rusher, 2 linebackers, and a safety, and then you got Parker Pritchett as the only offensive lineman. So I think it's a good pickup for Auburn. I would like to see how he kind of develops, see if he gets that 4-star. Because if he's playing like that, it would be ridiculous. Because, of course, Big Cat Weekend was last week. Something I didn't even know that Big Cat was last weekend. It completely just like blinked on me. Yeah, big pickup for Auburn nonetheless. Now, last thing to talk about, keeping it basketball related. We're all still pretty sad about how Auburn season ended, losing in the Final Four. And of course, that means a lot of players are going to be going. Some guys that don't have eligibility will be heading out. Tahaad Pettiford has declared, though, that he will be declaring for the NBA draft, but will maintain his collegiate eligibility. Of course, in the NBA, you can do this. You can go to the draft and you can test the waters, kind of see what people were saying about you, what do you need to improve on before you can get drafted to a team. Of course, if you get they're like, oh, we're gonna put you in the G League for like 2 or 3 years. Not the most feasible thing for somebody that no one wants to play in the G League for that long. They want to get that step up. So if Tahaad Pettiford just doesn't see, I want to say first round looks. If he doesn't get a lot of first round looks, I think you see Tahaad Pettiford back at Auburn next year to improve on whatever scouts are telling him he needs to work on. Which, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of things Tahaad Pettiford really has to do outside of, I wouldn't say maybe. Well, I don't want to even say mature a little bit, because that Florida game was just an outlier for how he performs and acts during a game. But I do think Tahaad Pettiford will be back. I think right now you're looking at Chadwick and Mazzara, who I don't think has officially declared that he'll be returning, but I do think he'll be back. I think Ja'Kai Howard will be back as well, and of course he got all the transfers and the high school and JUCO guy coming in as well. But yeah, I wish Todd the best of luck. I mean, if he gets straight up told that he's going to go in the first 15 picks and they're looking to get him in the G League for maybe half the year if he performs well and bring him on up to a full time on the NBA team, I'm all for it. I want Tahaad to succeed in the best way possible. Definitely was a star for Auburn in this tournament. Yeah, I do wish you the best of luck, but I won't lie if I say that I do want him to come back to the team next season. But that'll be all for the stuff of the College Loop podcast. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm Dylan Larck, of course, at Bulletin on Twitter. Of course, you have me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, at DYLENLRCK. And of course, you can write in the College Loop podcast where you should like and comment. And of course, subscribe. Again, so close to 1,000 subscribers. Be super cool to reach that milestone for the channel. And of course, you can check us out on audio versions of the show as well on Spotify, Podcast, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. And that being said, check us out on social media platforms, every single one of them, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all of the College Loop. And with all that being said, for this is of the College Loop podcast yet again. And as always, War Eagle.